Hey guys, I'm gonna record this in a forest with a Jesus statue here. Um, but I've been thinking about it and I don't know, curious. I'm wondering if perhaps I have the means for the time being. So let us begin. Self consciousness and the question of freedom. I think self consciousness is what it means to be human. I think the question of self consciousness and of freedom goes very deep and beyond merely the conventional understandings and usages of the term. Perhaps we can start there with this sense of having a self and being aware that we have a self, being aware that we are, hey, here I am as I talk to you and I kind of flap my wings in the wind and take off. I'm aware that I'm doing it, and I'm suddenly faced with, what am I doing? How am I doing this? Why am I doing this? What is even happening? Where am I going? Why am I going there? Etc., etc. There seems to be this capacity for curiosity, for wonder, and I wonder what this wondering is. Have you ever wondered about wonder? And it brings me to the question of freedom, because the way I see is that our freedom and the power thereof that we hold, if you look around you, this all didn't come from nothing. I mean, maybe it did, but we take the natural world and we bend it to our will. We become aware of possibilities. We have ends in minds, and we are makes me wonder about meaning. I had this thought come to me when we talk of meaning. It's a perplexing question because we want to know the meaning of meaning. It goes under our noses. We utterly take it for granted. But the meaning, the means to what? Meaning requires a certain end. And I wonder where those ends really start. And I think they start in self-consciousness, because our knowledge, our awareness, and our recognition as such is our power as human beings, because it's not from our bodies, that's for sure. We didn't go on to take such command and conquest over the natural world by our brute physical strength. It's our intelligence. And it makes you wonder why, what the difference is. I see a plant flapping in the wind, utterly beholden to external circumstances, and I liken that to myself and my actions as I, recognize myself and my actions and act out that recognition, and it's like an overlap almost in that sense. It kind of stops me in my tracks and my flow there for a second, because the flow flows into itself, and it's like, fuck. And that sense of fuck when you touch self-awareness, when you think about thinking, when you bring the activity of wonder back around to itself, and you are simply left in the mystery and the silence that is reality, magical things happen, in my experience. As well as quite the opposite. I think self-awareness, self-consciousness is why we suffer, because, well, I don't know. It's a hard question, but it seems like in all of our thinking, in all of our cocooning and meaning making of reality, we are dissatisfied. I wonder, as I wonder, what am I doing? Is there actually anything to this? Or it sounds kind of funny when I say it out loud. Like, or is this just doing nothing, just bullshitting? And then what? Go get a life, and you do the whole getting a life thing. I don't know. What do we say? Go get some pussy, go acquire, go conquest and get out there and crush it, do all these such things. Then what? Then what? You know, we're back here in some way or another. We're back wondering why, when, for what? Just this endless sort of creation, this endless sort of creation of what? Of what? I come across people on the internet who speak of these things of freedom and power and domination and conquest and all of this, and I wonder why. The power to what? The freedom to what? I met this guy and he says Andrew Tate is the most free, actualized being because he has such power and control over his world. And interesting. It's an interesting take. Maybe not the most friendly, but my question is, freedom to what? Freedom to what? Is a free being one utterly beholden to such means and ends? And where does that leave you? Where does that leave you? When is it enough? So the question of freedom is a perplexing mystery. And I wonder if that flabbergasting gust of silence, I wonder what it means. And I sure as hell don't see the dog or the plant or hell, even others who I share space with in my world, other humans, faced with that real, almost universal predicament. And it does make you wonder what it really serves. Because I believe we come baked in with understanding. I don't believe observation is utterly neutral. I'm not a dogmatic empiricist where just things are given and we just have the facts of the situation. Science only measures the facts of reality. We can just take the blunt basic facts. Well, what facts? What says that something is a fact? What is it that you observe and actually take of reality? And does that not imply understanding? Does it not imply recognition in a cognitive act and a rational process a priori? But that, on investigation, as we go looking for that, as we turn the process back on itself and we turn thinking, we observe thinking and we observe thinking and we observe thinking and we observe and so on, right? We make thought into an observation. So we're not even observing thinking anymore. We're observing observation. And I wonder Because think of the primal human. How do we go from nothing to something? How do we go from the natural world to, wow, look at all this, like I have this music playing, I have this device where I can record and I can measure all of these abstract ideas and convey them to you and jam them into your mind and let them percolate through your being and do what they need to do, and we can have such sort of, I don't know, like accessibility and real fluidity and dance on the stage of nature. And if all of our thoughts, if we just live our life, if we just do what we want, does that happen? Where does that change come from? What I see is that change comes from investigating where it starts, coming back to the ends that we mean, and touching that silence and intimacy with our truest selves. And to me, that act of understanding of creation as such comes down to a deep investigation of the ends that we seek. And this is why I find metaphysics so fascinating, because if reality simply isn't given, if it's a participatory act between whatever is external and whatever we are, whatever it is that's subjective, then what do we bring to the table? What do we bring to the table? Where do we draw the lines? And what is it within us and what is it within the world? I worry that human capability and capacity for freedom on both ends of its goodness and its badness. I wonder where we are hampered, where our boundaries truly lie. And I wish to meet those who stand before the gates of our capacity and place in this world, so that I can truly see beyond the fence. And I wonder what awaits me and what it would take to be let through. And I worry about the state of human freedom and the dampers and the constraints thereof, and what it is that we are capable of, and how we truly unlock that, how we meet those ends. And I'm going to sneeze. Okay. And if we are in the box, how could we get outside the box from being inside the box? What does it mean to get outside of the box? And are we even in a box in the first place? What if the box is thinking that you're even in one? What are the limits to knowledge? What are the limits to what we can think? Because are boundaries necessarily given? Are boundaries to what we are, to meaning, necessarily given? It seems so. It seems like reality is in a certain way, but it seems like that understanding and that demarcation, it changes, it fluctuates, it hasn't been the same, and our understanding is made out of more and more understanding. It's a fractal sort of process, in my view, because we take it for granted, don't we? Because it's always inaccessible to us, the same way you can't really think about thinking, because the second that you think about a thought, you lose that thought because you start up a new process of thinking, but in that, what happens to the thought stream as it flows into itself? And what is that stream of attention, of awareness, of recognition? I think that is what we are most fundamentally. Because that's where it starts. Here it is. So you tell me. I have this image come to me of bound feet. I don't know if you guys know bound feet, but some cultures they have these little shoes, and the feet they grow, but they can't grow to their potential because the shoe is too tight, it's too small, and the foot ends up coming out deformed and very uncomfortable to walk on, and displeasing. I wonder if that's our mind, and the shoe, you tell me what the shoe is. Or maybe the foot inside the shoe is our soul, and the shoe is our minds, is our boundaries and our limits. And how do we break free? And I'm not convinced it's impossible. Because look how far we've gotten. Look at what we come from. There's clearly this is so clearly capable of such majesty. Somewhere over the rainbow, perhaps. Maybe next time we'll find it. I'll meet you there. Thank you, and I'll catch you next time, okay? Bye.